So again, we'll start the Park app here. Again, to make it easier, I'm just going to do what we've already learned, how to do the navigation with the segues going from screen to screen to screen. Remember, each view will have its own programming. Each one will have its own Swift file. Okay, so keep that in mind. I used Illustrator to make the buttons. So let's look at that. Let me log this out. So in this case, you'll notice that I have already have my National Park logo here. You can see it here. I have my buttons, my map, I have my camping, I have my photo, I got my activities, and I got my map icon. And then I have my photos that are going to go in the layout as well. Okay, what I don't have is my back button. We can make a back button. First, let me really quickly go over how I did the icons again. If you remember, the easiest place to steal icons again is the Noun Project, the Noun Project, Noun project.com. Again, you type in what you're gonna do. Let's say you want to have an icon for a map. I can type in map, hit return. You get your map icons, right? You get your map icons. So let's say you want to use the famous one here. I don't know, whatever one you want to use. If you click on it, it gives you this graphic right here. But of course, this graphic is not in the format that you need. I mean, you could download it if you become a member, but of course, I'm not a member. Again, if you try to click to download this, it's going to ask you for a membership, right? But instead of getting a membership, really, oops, slow. Lost. Instead of getting a membership, we could steal this icon. If you remember how to steal the icon, is the easiest way is to take a screen grab, put it into Illustrator, convert it into a vector, save it as what format? PDF. All right. So again, I'm going to download this. I'm going to steal it. How do I steal it? I use the Command-Shift-4, draw a box around it, release the mouse. You hear your camera shot. Then I'm going to go and into Illustrator, make a new file in Illustrator, whatever, make a new file in Illustrator, doesn't matter size-wise. And I'm going to put it in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. To put it in Adobe Illustrator, you go underneath File, Place, File, Place. Place that icon. It's on the desktop. Again, the screen grab is this one. It's this screen grab, right? Screen grab. I place it in Adobe Illustrator. Then to convert it into a vector that you can use inside of Xcode, you convert it by converting it into a vector using Image Trace. To use Image Trace, you go under Window, Image Trace. And in the Image Trace option, I'm going to use black and white, whatever. And of course, if you remember from last time I did this, the easiest thing to do is to ignore white in the Image Trace option under the Advanced feature, Image Trace, Advanced. There's one that says Ignore White. Click on that and say Trace. When you're all done with that, you want to get rid of all the other art except for just the art that's there. To do that, you go underneath Object Expand, right here, Object Expand, and you'll see that it shrinks down the artboard to the edge. Now it's just plain symbol. Then the last thing you got to do, is to shrink the artboard, all this white space, down to the size of the icon. To shrink the size of the icon down there, you go underneath Object, Artboards, Fit to Art Bounds, or Fit to Selected Art, either one of these. It's down there, you can barely see it, but it's at the bottom there. And then boom, it shrinks the artboard down, and then save that into the PDF, and then you can use it right inside of Xcode. Okay, so those are the steps to get an icon from the Noun Project to Xcode. So if I hit save as now, I can save it as a PDF. See PDF right there. And this could be my map icon. And I could put it in my folder. Uh-oh, I already have a map icon. How about we call it map icon 2? Save it as a PDF. Let's do one more with the national park logo, because you're going to need the national park logo if you're doing a national park. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do the same thing again. Here we go. This time I'm going to go to the internet, and I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to type in national park logo. And if you go to images, you should find it. Find the one you want. I mean, you could use a PNG or something like that, but that's not going to give. Ooh, look at this one. I like that. It's like my park there. Look at that. No, I want the official one. The official national. Oh, I spelled it wrong. There it is. Here it is, the official one. The problem is, though, that this is in what format? If it's vector on the internet, what format is vector on the internet? No, vector on the internet. SVG, but I can't bring an SVG into Xcode. So I'm going to download the SVG, convert it into a PNG, and then use it in Xcode. Not PNG. I'm going to convert it into PDF. So again, this logo right here is in SVG. You can see it right there. See how it says SVG right there? I can't bring this into Xcode. Can't use it. You have to convert it. So I'm going to download it. I'm going to save image as, download it off the internet, download it on my desktop or wherever. So I've just downloaded it. And what program do you think I'm going to use? Illustrator, yes. Again, I'm going to go back to Adobe Illustrator, make a new file. To make a new file, you just go under File, New, right? File, New. Make a new file. Maybe I should have made it as a RGB instead of CMYK. That was a mistake. Change the color mode to RGB. There we go. RGB is the color mode. Okay. So make a new file, hopefully RGB color mode, and then bring that in, that file that we just made. Go File, Place. Find it, SV. You can actually just open it up and resave it. Where is it? I put it on the desktop, didn't I? You can just open it up too. I don't think you need to do this. I think you just open the SVG. Let's just open it. Let's just open it. There it is. I just opened it. Okay, but again, you can't use it like it is. You need to save it as a PNG. So just open it in Illustrator, and then go under File.
It doesn't let me open it.
It won't let you open SVG in Illustrator?
Yeah, it doesn't.
You file.
It as gray.
What's that?
It shows it as gray. That means you can't select it in Illustrator.
You sure you downloaded the SVG? It's the first one that I got to come up when I searched. In Google Images, National Park logo. It was this one from the Wikipedia. Just click on it, and then right click, save image as, and it should be there. Did you get it open?
Yeah.
Okay. So once it's open inside of Illustrator, you just go under File, Save As, and instead of SVG, you choose PDF. You can bring a PDF right into Xcode, save it, and then you can get started in Xcode. Okay? So I got all my, that's how I made the artwork. So I made the logo. That's how I made the icons.
It shrinks into such a small dot, right? It's shrinking into a very small.
You just view factor probably. Command plus, command minus, command plus, Command minus. I didn't change the size at all. That's just viewing it maybe. Okay, I'm done in Illustrator, but I use Illustrator a lot. You got to use Illustrator to make graphics. Okay, I'm going to go into Xcode now. You guys ready? I'm going to make the layout in Xcode. You can spend some time making your icons. I can help you in lab time. When we do lab time, I'll help you. You just know what kind of icons you want. I'll come over. Noun project's pretty easy. You saw how fast I made those icons, right? The other thing to keep in mind is you can change the color of the icon. So you make it black and white, right? You saw when I made those icons, they were black and white. When you bring it into Xcode, you can change the color in Xcode. So maybe you want blue icons or you want red icons. Just like in web design, right? If I'm making a website, I make my icons black and white. And when I bring it into code it onto a website through CSS, I can change the color. Right? So make black and white icons when you do things like that, and then in CSS you can change the color. How I do it in CSS, if I was going to do it, is I would make the icon a font. And then you can change the font color. Right? Icon fonts. Okay. Let's get into Xcode and we'll start the layout, and then we'll do some of the coding. We're going to kind of jump around. Like I said, there's multiple pages in the book that we jump around to. But let's start building the layout first. To do that, I'm going to open up Xcode, and I'm going to go under File, New Project. File, New Project. And we're going to do a single view app. Single view app. Next. I'm going to give it a name. This is, what park am I doing? Joshua Tree, right? Joshua Tree. I'm going to say next. I'm going to choose my folder where my artwork is. I have a folder called National Park Images. I don't know. Choose somewhere to put your file. I don't know where you want to put it. But choose somewhere to put it. Hit create. Hit create. Trying to hit create. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to not make a universal app. I'm going to make either one for a phone or one for an iPad. If you notice, again, I don't like to do universal. It's too hard. That's why everybody, if you look at any in the App Store, they usually have an iPad version or an iPhone version, and they don't have both. So again, right here where it says device at the bottom down here, where it says device, I'm going to change to iPhone. I'm going to make an iPhone. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to be using a map, right? We're going to use a map. So we want to make sure the resources for the map are loaded into our project. To make sure the resources for the map are loaded in, we're going to go where it says capabilities. Do you see that? Capabilities. And inside there, they usually have a map kit, if I can find it. Maps. Do you see it right here? Again, I'm under capabilities. Capabilities. You'll see where it says map down here, maps. You can just turn it on. Okay, then it asks you what kind of things you want. You don't need to put all this stuff in there. You don't have to put that in. If you're trying to, you can add these capabilities to your map, right? Maybe you want bike routes. Maybe you want buses, so on. So these are things that you can add to your map. You can come back and do this later. You don't have to do it now. Okay, you can add this stuff at any time. So I'm going to leave it blank, but right now I'll turn it on because then that allows Xcode to pull the resources for a map. Okay, do you see it's under capabilities? Okay. Let me see if any other ones I'm going to think of. You can see the ones that you can bring in there. You got the idea. You got the Wi-Fi information, app group, Apple Pay. Do you want that? Associated domains. I don't know. Not sure what that one is. Title files. Not sure. Autofill. Background modes. That's if you have multiple things running, right? Class kit. Data protection for your Apple ID and stuff. I guess if they're signing up with the Apple ID, you should turn that on. Game Center. Health Kit. You guys all know about your Health Kit on your phone, right? Tells you how many steps you've done a day, right? Mine usually says, you know, you didn't walk enough. Home Kit is for your home stuff. Hotspot configuration. If you're going to do a Wi-Fi. iCloud. If you're going to store data in your iPhone. In-app purchases. If you're going to have people buy things from inside your app, right? In-app purchases. Audio. A keychain. The keychain's where you share your Apple ID over multiple devices, right? Maps, we've already turned it on. Multipath. Don't know about that one. Near field communication, network extension, personal VPN, push notifications. That's you've seen that before. Siri, if you want to talk. Maybe we should do a Siri so we can talk to it. I haven't done a Siri thing yet. Wallet if you want to pay, and so on. So you get the idea. These are all under capabilities that you turn on resources, because you know the app doesn't need all these resources if you're not using them. It saves on size and memory, right? The next thing is I'm going to leave the rest alone, and I'm going to go to my main storyboard right here. It brings up my phone screen, my view controller. Now again, if you remember from the last week's lesson, we actually deleted this and used a table layout. Remember that? I tried that. I worked on that for a while. It wasn't doing what I wanted. So I'm going to go back to the simpler way, like we did with the color. We just have a button goes to a new view, and the new view goes back. I mean, it's fine. I think it was important to learn the table and understand what the table does, but it's very limited. It's great for a list, right? If you got a list of things, fabulous. But if you want to make some nice layouts, you know, the thing I find limiting was the cell itself was very limiting. And so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go straight with kind of the old school where we just make our own buttons and things like that. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is think about my layout and how the pieces will go together. Let's make the top part. Do you remember the top part that I just drew on the board there? So again, I'm going to have an object for the logo and then some text on the screen. And then we'll talk a little bit about dynamic text when we get to that. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my logo on the top. Or actually, if you want a background color, I'm sorry, let's do that first. I want to make some color in here. White is just so boring. We're doing Joshua Tree National Park. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a background color to my app. If you remember how to do that, you click on your white board here, your main storyboard. Click on the storyboard. Go over to Attributes, which is right here, the little arrow that points down. And here you have background right here. And you can choose a color from the list, or you can make your own color by dialing in your own color here. And I'm going to kind of go with the kind of warmish color there, kind of Joshua Tree. It's kind of brownish, tannish. I'm going to go with a tannish color. Again, how do I get the color? I clicked on the screen of my main storyboard, went to the attributes, the one that points down, and then I gave it a color. And then I'm going to close it. You don't need the color now. So again, I wanted to get there. And then every time I make a view, it can have this color as well. Or you can do different color backgrounds, just like in the lesson. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is bring in the National Park logo. To bring in the National Park logo, I'm going to go up here to the very top up here where the library is, and I'm going to choose an image. So I'm going to say image, and I'm going to drag an image view out, and I'm going to make it square by just turning the box down. It's going to be kind of small, probably 75 by 75, 74 by 74. So I'm going to make it kind of square, and it's all right. You can have it floating there. We're gonna adjust it into a group or stack, right? Remember the thing called stack is a group, right? So I just do image. Remember here, image, and drag that out, and then resize it. Don't worry, we're gonna give it a specific size. to make sure that it doesn't implode on me. And you know the word implode means when you put a image in there and the image is bigger than the box, it makes it go big. We're gonna give a fixed size to the image. We're gonna give a fixed size to the image. To give the image a fixed size, we're gonna go on down here to the auto layout features. I know, hold on, let me make my box bigger so you can see it. See right here? This is the auto new constraints. The new constraints, and let's give it a fixed size. And I'm just gonna make it 74 by 74. For now, to make it easy. Again, that was this option right here, 74 by 70. Don't do it once, don't do it twice, it'll do it twice. And if you remember, when you put constraints on there, you'll notice it puts the constraints right here and it follows along right there. Now, why is there red lines going around it? You're like, red is bad, red is bad. Well, it doesn't know where it's at in the position of the screen, because we haven't given it a location on the screen yet. We just told it to have a fixed size, right? It's in my app, but it doesn't know where it's located in the app. It knows that, hey, I'm a fixed size graphic, but where am I located? We'll do that later. Don't worry, the red line is there for a holding spot. We'll get it there, because we're going to put it in a group, right? Because we're going to have the text next to it, right? The name of the park next to it. So actually, let's put the name of the park in there. Let's put the name of the park in. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to make it a label. L-A-B-E-L, label. I'm going to drag that out. Use label if they're not doing anything. And, of course, I'm going to put in the name of my park. Joshua Tree. And maybe 2 lines. Oh, how do I do 2 lines? You can't just hit return to get 2 lines, can you? No, you got to actually go and tell it. See where it says number of lines? When you're putting a label in, see how it says number of lines? I'm going to say 2 lines. Now I can put a second line in. Oh, it doesn't even hit return. It's going to have to wrap. National Park. And to get it to wrap, just font. Dynamic, you want dynamic font here, so it automatically adjusts the font to the screen size. That's what automatically adjusts here, but I want it to be on a second line, and hitting return doesn't work. You need it to wrap, so I need to make the box smaller. There we go, make the box smaller, and then it'll wrap. And I'm going to change it to a little bit bigger, so it's almost the size of my image. There we go. Notice how when you drag it around, you get these blue lines. I'm going to kind of align them like this. Okay, so I type in some text. I hit automatically adjust font. I gave it 2 lines. I changed the font size. Let's see, what else do I want to fix in there? Where's my color?
You want to center alignment maybe?
I'm going to align these together, I think, in a stack. And then in a stack, we'll tell them how to be. A stack is a group. So actually, the first thing I'm going to do is tell it to be how far away from the image, right? Because I want this space to stay the same between the name of the text and the image of the National Park logo. I want it to stay the same. So I'm going to give it left align. Let's say, I don't know, let's just use a default. So I'm going to go in there. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on it, go to the constraint down here again, the constraint. And let's just hit the red line for 27 here on the left side. See the left side right here? I'm just going to give it that. Again, it's all red because we haven't put it in a group yet. It's going to be red. That's okay. We haven't grouped it yet. still doesn't know where it's located in the screen. Okay, let's group it and align it to the center of the app. We're gonna group this first. So we're gonna group this, and then I'm gonna make another line, and then we're gonna group that. I don't know if we should do that first or not. Well, let's group it first. Let's see. So again, to group this, I'm gonna select the text. I'm gonna select the image. Now they're both red. I understand that, but once we group it, to group it together so it's a group, go down here to the very bottom down here where the arrow points down, and we're going to do a stack view. Stack view. It might change the dimensions. You might have to make it a little bigger. It is cutting off the text a little bit, isn't it? Yes. We need to... Yeah, that was a problem.
I think font, if you make font smaller, then you can't fit.
Yeah, but now it's adjusting... I think I have to tell the text to be a specific size. Let me undo this. Let me undo that. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to undo that. I think I do need to give the size of the text a little bit more constraints. We did give it this, didn't we? No, we didn't give it height and width. Then, hold on, let me put that, and then go and put it in a stack. That's what you need to give the text a height and width as well. That's what my problem was. Let me undo that again. Let me go back in time. Okay, let's go back in time. Okay, first I'm gonna make this space again. Then I'm gonna give it a height and width. And say add to constraint. Then I'm gonna select both of them and tell it to be a stack view. That's better. Okay, so I had to give the text a height and width. Let's put the logo in. To put the logo in, you can select it. And first, let's bring our artwork in. Let's bring our artwork in. To bring the artwork in, I'm going to kind of move my window around. And then I'm going to go to Assets. Remember, Assets is where you store your artwork. And I'm going to drag my artwork in. I'm going to drag my pictures in. Drag my stuff in. Drag my icons in. Drag my logo in. And is that everything? And then, oh, I didn't use that one. Okay, so again, I have some photos that I brought in. Some icons. Some pictures. An icon, and then the logo. So I brought those in. Again, I store them in assets right here. See the assets? Assets right there. Okay, let's go back to the storyboard. To put my image in, it doesn't like my height, does it? It doesn't like my height at all. We should probably, I don't know, let's just put it in for now and see what we have to do. To put the image in, I'm going to select the image view and go where it says image again under attributes over here. Under attributes right here, I'm going to put my image in there of my park logo. There it is. And then to keep it from being squished like that, I'm going to say aspect fit. Right there, aspect fit. So again, select the image. Go to the image option here. Choose current image, aspect fit, and it should be there now. I'm still got red because the stack view, it doesn't like that these are squeezed into the stack view. Maybe I should give the stack view a height. No, it doesn't like that at all. Okay. Didn't like that at all. Okay, let's add the other pieces. We didn't make a back button, did we? We didn't make a back button, did we? Well, we could just cheat and make a word that says back. How about that? We don't need an arrow. To make a back button, I'm just gonna choose up here. I'm gonna make a button. So let's make a button. And I'm gonna drag it out. And let's call it back. So I have a back button. And then let me think about how I could make my line. Yeah, I don't know. This back button's just kind of floating there. I don't know what to do. Maybe we could put it next to it. Should we put it next to it here and have it only show up when they go back? What do you think? Where should we put it? Should we just put it here and only use it when they need it?
Yeah, I prefer.
Because then I would squeeze it into the stack here. But that kind of messed up my stack.
You probably need to give a constraints to the label.
Yes. I don't know. Let me give it some constraints. Let's put it there. Inside there. It's making my button too big though. Maybe if I just put it underneath here and it only shows up. I don't know. Kind of like it here only if it's needed. I just don't know how to make it layout wise. Let me try and stack this again. That's better. So again, I put it underneath there and I put it into another group. I put it underneath there and put it into a group. And then I'm going to take this entire group or stack as a group and then align that to the center using the add alignment constraints, this one with the lines, and say horizontal center. Still doesn't like, but that doesn't look bad. That's kind of what I had in mind. It doesn't like that this doesn't have a height to it. I don't know, let me see what it looks like if we preview it. Too high up because we didn't tell it how far down to be, right? Remember, we have to tell it how far down to be. But it doesn't look bad. It's kind of what I wanted. Okay, let's try that. So we need to tell it how far down to be. So let's select the stack and then go to constraints and tell it to be down 13. There we go. Okay. That got rid of all my red too because now it knows where it needs to be. Let's look at that now. Let's look at that. Okay, that's not too bad. A little small. Might make it a little bigger. But that's sort of what I was looking for, at least for the back button. This to be kind of floating there. And it won't be showing up on this screen. I just put it here for now. But I'm going to go and make it hidden on this screen. So let's go and make the rest of this down here. So in this case, I'll show you my groups again. Again, my groups are I have this group, which is the logo, and it doesn't like this has a constraints of fixed. It doesn't like that. We need to make the box bigger.
Increase the width of that.
No, it won't let me. I think it's because of this alignment. See, it's a 1-to-1 ratio here. I chose ratio instead of... I don't know. For some reason, it seems to want to be... I mean, if I do fixed... I guess it wants it to be center. No. Fill. So I selected both of the I made a picture and some text here. This is a label. And then I'm going to group them together. So I grouped them together using a stack view. So now we have two stack views, right? We have this one and then this one. And we didn't tell it how to center this one, but we can center that one. And then we need to tell it how far down. And that's it. So this is fixed now. So again, center. And then how far down. And so this looks better. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is put in my buttons.
So we stacked it.
I grouped it. I stacked it. I stacked these together, right, into a stack. Then I centered it. Then I told it to go down. You see it right here?
Right.
Like 15 pixels or whatever. So this is the way that that's going to look. Here we go. Let's look at it. So that's not too bad. Though my box needs to be bigger, I need to give it more lines for my text maybe. But that's a start. Now let's make some buttons here. So we're going to have 4 navigational buttons right here. 4 navigational buttons. To do that, I'm going to make a button. A button. I'm going to stretch it out.
Oh, I can the little text that they want to see the actual little boxes.
We could give it a background image if you want to give it that. Do you remember that one example I was showing you? We can try that if you want. So you might want to give it a background image. Let's see. You would have to kind of crop it right, I think. That doesn't look good. Nah, I don't like that. That's pretty ugly. Green. Yeesh, green. So you can make a button. You can give it a color. So in the properties for your button, I don't know. You might want to try the image because that looked pretty good. Probably. Did you see the example that we saw before with the background image in a button? You might want to consider that. Here's how things are aligned inside your button. If you want an image with the, you want to put the icon in the button, you can download the image option, image view, drag that into your button.
Wait, where do you get the UI image view?
This pull down menu here, image. But I want it to be under my button. Didn't we have an image and a button before? Yeah, how did I do that before? I want it to be inside.
Image is inside, right?
Now it's on the same level. Maybe we just need to do the let me just try this. Image. What am I looking for? Icon. What are I camping? Yeah, that's too big. Yeah, don't do that. Don't put the image view in there. Use the if you click on the button, there was a camping icon right there. But it needs to have some size to it. Hold on, I'm gonna reorder my button here. That's a shadow. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that, having a graphic in there like that. Let's try and let's turn that off. Before I tried to put an image in, right? Image view. Align it. What would I do in camping? Camping? Camping. Okay, so we have a camping icon. And we need to align these together. Oh, but I didn't give it any width and height. Hold on. Let me make this fixed size. And then hold on, let me undo the frames. Okay, let's try. We'll take our icon and give it a fixed size. Fixed size. That's fine. Then we'll align it with this. Right? Align it with that. And then we'll tell it to be down from yeah, see, it doesn't like that these are not grouped together. You have to stack these. You have to group these together and then add that. Yeah, we'll have to group that together. Let me group that. Let me save this. How about that? Let's open up the other one and see how they put that icons in there. Okay, let's see how this student put the icons in. She was able to use the navigational controller. See, look, she pushed it down.
Table view.
She was able to use the table view. I've been struggling with this. Maybe we'll go back to that way.
Table view, yeah.
I don't know how she did that. I haven't been able to do that. Let's look at it. Yeah, that looks right. I haven't been able to get it to work like that.
Can we click and navigate?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man.
So that's what I want to make.
Yeah, we can.
I can't get the table view to work. That's the problem. I haven't been able to put the artwork above it. Okay, we could try that. Let me try it real quick. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, let me try. Okay, I think I know how she did it. We might go back to table view again.
Yes.
Okay, maybe. Let me see. But this was all good. We learned how to put stuff in, I think.
Yeah.
We got this stuff done. We could just copy this stuff and put it in the other one. Let me just see if I can do it one more time at the top. I think I know how to do it now. Let me see.
The recording is off, right?
Well, I think the key here is that
I'm talking about recording. We can turn it off.
oh, turn my recording off.